Imagine that you want to build like the biggest, coolest fort ever. You can't just throw sticks together, right? You need to follow some secret rules, like a special recipe. These 5 rules are my secret recipe for getting stronger and building real muscle as a drug-free lifter, especially if you're a skinny guy. The first rule is to basically get stronger over time. What does this mean? It basically means adding a little bit of weight or adding a little bit of reps each and every single time you go to the gym. Guys, this is basically called progressive overload for those of you who don't know. So what I'll do is I'll explain progressive overload really quick. That way you have a quick grasp of it. That way you understand and you can start implementing it in your workouts and in your workout routines. That way you can start seeing actual real natty growth as a drug-free lifter. So there's 5 different ways you can implement progressive overload during your workout. I'll make it super simple. I'm going to lay out all 5 for you. Number 1 is that you can increase the reps. Number 2, you can increase the weights. Number 3, you can increase the sets. Number 4 is that you can decrease the rest period between sets. And number 5 is that you can improve your technique / form. So if I give you an example, we'll go over number 1 really quick. Say you are doing a squat for your exercise today. Say it's Monday, maybe you squat on Mondays. If you typically squat 1 plate for 10 reps, next week you'd want to increase the reps in order to implement progressive overload. So instead of squatting for 10 reps like you did last week for 1 plate, this week try to squat 2 plates. Try to squat 1 plate for 11 reps rather than 10. So you see how you jumped up by 1 rep. This is a progressive overload. This is you getting stronger. Number 2 example, like the second example would be increasing the weights. So let's say it's Monday again, you're still squatting, and let's say you're squatting your 1 plate for 10 reps. Next Monday, when it's time to squat again, instead of just squatting 1 plate for 10 reps, what you would want to do is add a little bit of weight, or if you can add more, if you're feeling super strong, that's okay too. The point is to add weight. So instead of adding 1 plate for 10 reps, let's say you add those little 2.5 plates on each end of the bar, and now you're squatting 140 pounds for 10 reps instead of 135 pounds for 10 reps. So you kept the reps the same, but see you bumped up the weight a little bit. This is another variation of implementing progressive overload. Now, number 3, this one's a little bit harder. This one's a little bit more advanced, but you can implement it as well too, typically. Squat example, again, let's say you're squatting your 1 plate, and let's say you typically do like 3 sets of squats. Next week, the following Monday, instead of just doing 3 sets of squats, you would aim to do 4 sets of squats. So you see how you added an entire set? You basically added an entire 10 reps to your total workout volume. This is another example of implementing progressive overload. Now, number 4, this is one that a lot of people forget about. This is one they forget that you can actually implement as well too. Number 4 is to decrease the rest periods. So how do you do this? We'll stick with the squat example for sake of simplicity. Let's say that on Monday you squat, you do your 10 reps with 1 plate, and let's say you typically do like 4 sets, and let's say in between your sets you typically rest for 2 minutes. That's great, that's awesome. Next Monday, the following Monday when you're squatting again, instead of resting for 2 minutes between sets, try to rest for 1:30. So you see, everything else was the same. The only thing that changed was your total rest in between your sets, and you made it a little bit harder by making it 30 seconds shorter. So you went from 2 minutes break to 1:30 break. That's the 4th way that you can implement progressive overload. The 5th one is is a tip, or it's another variation of progressive overload that people just entirely forget in itself, and that is perfecting your technique / perfecting your form. This is a great way to implement progressive overload as well too. So I guess we can stick with the squat example. Let's say you're squatting, you do your sets, you do your reps, whatever. Let's say your form's a little iffy, it feels a little janky like today, and you're not going all the way down. Let's say you're going up and down a little too fast, like you're not really pausing at the bottom of your squat. Like that's okay, you'll get a good workout in, like you'll still challenge your muscle. But if you want to be even better, if you want to be as optimized as possible as a natural lifter, you want to get the most bang for your buck out of the exercise, then let's say the following Monday, when it's time to squat again and you're doing this all over, try to like really improve your technique, try to really improve your form, and like really pause at the bottom of your squat, like come down slow on your squat, really brace your core, keep your legs, keep your feet positioned in like an optimal position for your body type, keep your knees behind your toes if you can. Then you can shoot up fast. Like if you really dial in your form and technique for your exercises, you're basically being more effective and more efficient with the time used spending doing that exercise. Like it goes with any exercise. Like if you're going to bench press, I would much rather have you guys 10 out of 10 times, if you're going to bench press, don't just bounce the weight up and down off your chest. Like, yes, you can probably lift more that way and you can probably do more reps that way. But I promise you, if you just spend the time to come down slow on your bench press, pause for a second, pause for 2 seconds at the bottom, and then shoot up, and you do your reps like that, you're going to be more effective, you're going to be more efficient, and you're going to get more out of the exercise rather than just bouncing up and down. Basically, the time spent doing the exercise, you will get more muscle gains if you focus on technique and form. So that was kind of a lot for the first principle. So let me try and move on and make the other ones a little bit more concise, a little bit quicker. Number 2 is going to be make sure that you're eating your protein. So this is super easy. I'll make it simple. Basically, if you are bulking, if you're watching this channel, you're most likely a skinny guy who's trying to build drug-free muscle. Take how much you weigh in pounds. So for example, if you weigh 150 pounds, you would eat that same amount in grams in protein. So if you weigh 150 pounds, you would eat 150 grams of protein. And this is every single day. Another example, if you weigh 140 pounds, you eat 140 grams. If you weigh 130 pounds, you eat 130 grams. So you see where I'm going? This is easy. It's not rocket science. Natural bodybuilding is simple. You just have to understand these few core principles and apply them to your fitness, to your diet, and you will start seeing natural gains. Okay. Number 3 is sleep. A lot of guys under 30 struggle with this, myself included sometimes, but I've really gotten better over the years, and I've managed to learn a bunch of tips that help me improve my duration of sleep as well as my quality of sleep as well. So at the very minimum, get 8. If you can get more than 8, that's even better. Like if you can get 8, 9, 10, 11, that is perfectly fine. There's no such thing as too much sleep. Sleep is always good for you. When you go to the gym, that's when you break down your muscles. But your muscles don't actually grow while you're in the gym. They grow while you're sleeping. They grow while you're resting. So if I always tell my clients that your training and your recovery have to be 50-50. You have to treat them with equal amounts of focus. You can't just focus entirely on training and then have your recovery be shit. You have to focus on recovery just as much as your training. So get your hours of sleep and you will start seeing way better gains. If you want some quick tips, I have videos on sleep and how to improve them, but I'll drop a few right now. Basically, what you want to do is keep your room dark, keep your room cold, keep the noise to a minimum, take the TV out of your room, make sure there's no lights on in your room. Let's see, have a comfortable bed, have sheets that are cold because it'll keep you stay cool and comfortable throughout the night. You can do things like wear a sleep mask, wear earplugs, have a white noise machine. All of these are great. Now, not all of them are essential, except I would say keeping the room dark and keeping it cold. If you can focus on just those 2, then you'll get way better sleep in itself. Let's see, what do I have for number 4? Okay, number 4 is about consistency. Sorry, let me adjust. I'm getting kind of uncomfortable in my chair. Number 4 is about consistency, and consistency is just as important as everything else that I've mentioned so far, especially if you are a natural lifter, because as a natural lifter, we don't have the same power or the same ability or like the same maximum amount of recovery compared to these guys who are on steroids, compared to these guys who are on gear. Those guys are able to recover super fast, and that means that their consistency doesn't have to be as locked in, as dialed in as us. As natural lifters, have to make sure that we are absolutely consistent as often as possible to ensure that we don't, number 1, lose our gains. So we can maintain the gains that we've already got, as well as number 2, actually build our gains up as well too. What does that look like? You guys probably know. This is simple. Don't skip workouts. Don't skip your meals. Basically, what you want to do is hit your calories every single day if you're trying to bulk up. Hit your protein every single day. Get your 8 hours of sleep every single day. Don't skip your workouts. And if you focus on those like 3 or 4 things, you will be money. I promise you will start seeing real natural gains. Number 5 is important as well too. This is one thing that people will also kind of skimp out on and kind of forget about. But the 5th principle for this video is about patience. As a natural lifter, like I mentioned earlier, you have to understand that you can recover quickly and as fast as these guys who are on gear can, which means that you're not going to see muscle growth as fast as these guys who are on like YouTube, all these fitness gurus, all these influencers are. So you have to accept that. Like if you're trying to do this drug-free, you're trying to lift for the rest of your life, you're trying to focus on longevity, then just accept that your journey is going to take a little bit longer compared to those guys, and just be okay with that. Like accept it, because it's okay. Like we're doing this for the long term. We're doing this to be healthy, not just look good. Like of course we want to look good, but we also want to be healthy and not die by the time we turn 40, by the time we turn 50. So be okay with accepting the process and accepting that it's going to take a little bit longer, and everything will be all right. Now, if you implement all those 5 things that I talked about, progressive overload, hitting your protein every single day, getting your 8 hours of sleep, hitting your consistency, and accepting that that natural bodybuilding is going to take a little bit longer, you'll be perfectly fine. I promise you guys will start seeing results if you focus on these things. That's it for this video. Hopefully you guys learned something. If you guys want me to break this down a little bit further, feel free to DM me on Instagram. Just DM me the word natty and I'll answer any question you may have. If you guys are looking for something cool, we offer a school community. It's a private community literally filled with skinny, natty guys under 30 who are all trying to build drug-free muscle with just 2 workouts per week. If that sounds like you can check that out. Link in the description below. But otherwise, peace out, you guys. Hopefully you guys learned something. That's it for today's video. See you on the next one.